Dude IRL here. Wanted to give some impressions on these new doctrines here for the 1.5 open beta that they have out. Interesting stuff here. Doctrines. I like it. Um, let's see. Axis, Allies, Comintern, and Pan-Asian. And it seems that they all have their own specific role. Now, from different kinds of Axis versus Allies games that I've played over the years, I like seeing something like this. And from playing this game for as many years as I have, it's definitely seems like it's going to pick up the pace on how games are played. But the thing I am starting to notice after getting into a game and actually looking and seeing what they did with the map and each country, I have come to notice that some people's first impressions might be wrong about some of these doctrines. Now, the country I got into had the Allies optimization. Production time, research cost reduction, movement speed deduction. Yeah, 10%, not cool, but hey, that's not too bad. I'm looking at each of these, and I'll go through them one at a time. Axis. Now, in order to understand my point of view, each country in the map now has about every country has what seems like the same amount of resource gain, same amount of starting resources, a much lower dollar amount. There are added troops, and there's a resource change in provinces. Now, a lot of the buildings have changed as well. So let's go over this one little step at a time here. My first impression of Axis power. All right, there are troops, and I'm assuming this is a global effect, is plus 15%, and the damage is plus 15%. That's definitely good. Production cost, yeah, it's going to cost more, but they're going to be better. So what it's looking like is you're going to have a specified build that you're going to want to invest in. Now, in the past, you'd build a whole bunch of tanks, industrial complexes in your cities, and then all those cities would be building industrial tanks out of the industrial complexes. But it looks like this is different. The way that the impression I'm getting is that each city is going to have a role, and that role is to build your army. So you'll have, like, say, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-piece army in a 100-player map. So you're going to want, then you go through and decide what you want. Now, the days of when you get everything, it looks like you get pretty much the basics of everything after about 4 to 6 days. Everything builds fast, so you're going to be out of resources quick. At least from my first impression. But that's not too bad. I mean, like I said, you're going to focus on the army type that you want to build and focus on that. So focus your resources. Are you going to have motorized infantry? If you are, focus the city on it. Do you want more than just a couple? Invest 2 cities into it. But for the most part, I'm thinking I'm going to start off with a a 1 city per, maybe 2 cities for the one I want most of, and 1 for the other 3 for each of the 3 other units I want. So if I'm going to want 2 cities making motorized infantry, I'll make 2 cities making motorized infantry. Same thing for like mech. Same thing for, anything else. So see what you want to build. What's going to be happening. Go in, check the times, the build times. Everything builds fast. So those reductions or deductions in like build times might not be a huge deal. What else? Well, this is neat, interesting here. Attacker bombers. I noticed that these are new. They do damage, more damage towards like the ground troops and the heavier tanks, as opposed to tactical bombers doing more damage to light tanks. So tactical bombers they seem nice for like stopping that rogue light armored vehicle that's running around your territories. Haven't really gotten a chance to test out any Navy, so I'm not really going to get into that. I noticed, rocket artillery, that sounds pretty cool. Rail guns are being able to be bought early, that's cool. Flying bomb looks new. Rockets, alright, cool, you get rockets sooner. Rocket fighters, bonuses. I mean, it makes sense. So, yeah, it looks like the Axis power has their blitzkrieg type thing going on here with speed. Their motorized infantry are faster. They have their anti-air are better at killing tanks, which is nice, and a little bit more damage. Better at killing aircraft to better protect your tanks. The SP anti-air more into the blitzkrieg thing where you can help protect your tanks. The light tanks are not, they don't seem to be a big deal in the Axis power tech, so I'm not sure you're going to be seeing a lot of those. Medium tanks, it looks like you're going to be seeing a lot of medium tanks. But like I said, the blitzkrieg, they got bonus move speed, more hit points, and you can get them sooner. And you get heavy tanks sooner. So, I mean, you're going to see fast ground armies, tanky fast armies with lots of hit points and damage coming out of the Axis. The old blitzkrieg. The Allies. Now, the impression I'm getting off of them is response. Wait until you see what your enemy has. Build the counter. With that said, that you're going to be waiting, you'll be able to, if you need motorized infantry, odds are, if you're doing what I'm saying, you're going to be able to build them even with the days of availability increased. This commandos here seems really good. I have a game and I'm going to be building, I have 3 different cities with barracks, 2 of them with ordnance. So I'm going to be building my ordnance out of them. So, I'm sorry, I have 3 ordnance and 2 barracks. The goal is for me to build commandos and SP artillery, and eventually, once I take some more land, if, I'm going to be targeting somebody that has the Axis power, so their cities should be able to allow me to build tank destroyers once I start taking them. Tactical bombers. Not bad. Interceptors, alright, get them sooner. Cool. Definitely will help against to build up numbers if you know you're going to need them. Strategic bombers, still waiting to see these be useful. They are useful scouts. I mean, with their increased attack range and increased hit points, they'll be able to go out further. They'll be able to survive and come back and make multiple trips. So we'll see how they work out. I can't see myself playing them without any allies. If I had allies, maybe I'd go with the strategic bomber and bomb out fortresses deal. And, go with the aircraft. Because allies get quite a bit of bonuses towards aircraft. But, production time, research time, and research times all decreased by 30%. That's going to burn through your resources. So, that's why I'm saying, slow build, a defensive army maybe. I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. I'm going to build some artillery for behind my front line. If I get invaded, I'll pound them with the artillery and they'll run into my front line. If I see them coming in with, say, more tanks than I can handle, I'll hurry up, research some kind of tank or anti-tank. It'll cost less, it'll take less time, and I'll be able to pump them out quicker. So it's like a response thing. You see somebody coming in, invading your borders. What do they have? What are you lacking? You can optimize your army. Build what you need. Next is the common turn quantity. I noticed food looks like it's going to be the most used and needed resource in Call of War now. I'm getting that feeling already. So, production cost, alright, that's good. Upkeep cost minus 20%, that seems like it's probably going to be a pretty big deal. Damage minus 10%, that seems a lot. That's like saying, you need 11 people to equal 10. That one extra unit. But you're gonna, with the production cost, you're gonna have the extra units to compensate for your damage, and you're gonna be able to support them because of your upkeep cost. So I mean, it works out. You're just gonna have to buy like 3 more per stack. Militia, from what I've seen so far, you can build militia at ridiculous speeds. Problem is, you're going to run out of resources. Infantry, you're going to be able to build them out at ridiculous speeds too. I think it was something like 2 or 4 hours. So, I mean, having more upkeep cost reduction plus this upkeep cost reduction, you're going to be able to hold. These are it's definitely a early game defending type deal going on here, and you'll be able to get them out quick. So you're being invaded and they're getting close to one of your cities. By the time they get to your city, all of a sudden you have, I don't know, 10 militia. Or if you want to be realistic, you have 4 militia inside of one of your urban cities. or urban areas. By the time some tanks or something move 2 hours to get there, the person's going to be like, oh, I can take it. I'm just going to rush right in. All of a sudden, by the time they get there, you got, you know, a whole bunch of infantry, and it's going to, you know, they're not going to see it coming because it's going to happen. It's going to turn 2 hours into not a lot of time to react. So definitely a bonus on that. You know, like a quick response militia. That's what they've turned into, quick response. You need to hurry up and defend something that's not defended. Something snuck through. Bam, you got your militia. I can't believe I'm saying that because I've always been a firm believer in militia aren't that good. But that was a different version. That was a different game. That was when people were building barracks along like their entire border and just pumping out one militia per day. And yeah, it's different now. Militia has a new role. Let's scroll down here some more. You know, you still have access to these units. They're not as useful to your goal, but they're not a hindrance. I mean, having your bonuses, production costs, and upkeep costs reduced for like commandos, hey, that's nice. You know, you'll be able to have a little bit more. Someone comes at you with 5 commandos, all of a sudden they find out you have 6 or 7. Or 6, and you're going to have your 7th built. Maybe by the time they get to you, there's 8. Still up in the air about paratroopers. You know, I haven't really played the new version long enough to really comment on them. Ordnance, you know, if you played Axis and Allies, the newer editions, you know, they're big on artillery and guys. Well, it looks like you're going to be big on artillery and guys on this one as well. Build them fast and send them out. It seems like they're going to be saving a lot of resources. Anti-tank, great. That's great, you know. Stop the Blitzkrieg in its tracks. Make them think twice. Yeah, not the best against anti-air, but hey, with the bonuses that other countries are getting, the only real time that you're going to need anti-air is if someone's less powerful, taking less powerful units for like the Germans, the German power, or you got the only real threat's probably going to be the Allies and the Pan-Asians. So let's scroll down here a little bit more. Yeah, see, more, not so much anti-air. They got their medium tanks sooner. I mean, it makes sense. They get a better heavy tank. The Russian heavy tank at the end of World War II was good. It just wasn't in the theater long enough to really make an impact. I mean, that's you get 2 days sooner. It has extra hit points. Heavy tanks. You know, this buff alone makes me want to try the communists out. Long term, you're going to have a better heavy tank than the Russian. And your anti-tanks are going to be able to compete with the medium tanks. For the most part, I mean, you're going to have quantity. Right? Tank destroyers, oh, that's cool. You get them less. You get them sooner. Interceptors, yeah, well, there wasn't really, you know, yeah, self-explanatory. Attack bombers, Alright, so you get attack bombers sooner. Good for troops and tanks. I haven't really done much in naval, but we'll give it a little look-see. Germans, yeah, makes sense. Better subs. Allies, better destroyers. So that's like a, makes sense. Cruisers. Alright, they get cruisers sooner. Yay. They have more hit points. I mean, I guess that's good if you get your, alright, you find something you want to shoot down with I guess it's good at stopping invasions from allied convoys. Yeah, the Russians aren't huge in the Navy, but hey, at least I guess they had to give them something, so give it to cruisers. Secrets, rocket artillery. Alright, so they get rockets sooner. They get better rocket artillery. Never gotten to use rocket artillery or SP rocket artillery. So one of these games, I'll try that. Seems like the Russian Zerg is a real thing. Anything else down here? No. Yeah, as you can see, the Allies get all the nuclear stuff sooner. The Germans get the rocket stuff better. Railguns, yeah, better, better by sooner. If you go that route. Probably it's like, oh, look, I'm going east. Need railroad guns. Alright, next, we'll go back up and check out Pan-Asian. Move speed, view range, terrain bonus. Less hit points. Alright, so guerrilla fight tactics. Make up for your lack of hit points by getting and fighting in the terrain that you want to fight in. Makes sense. Surprise. Get to where you want to be. Alright, let's see. Pan-Asian infantry. So they get the hit point bonus back. They're getting a total of 50% bonus, 225% bonuses on forest and hills. Good. That makes them much better. That's it for the infantry. The mech infantry, yeah. They have some, this is neat, the commando, I like that skin. Alright, let's see, ordnance. Artillery. Well, their artillery is more effective than the communist artillery. They both have a production cost decrease. One does extra damage, one you can build more. So you can have 5 to their 4. Nothing's changed there. Yeah, don't really. I can see that SP anti-air getting delayed. I mean, you're fighting in jungles, right? Tanks, armored cars. Alright, I can see that if in the mainland Asia, in China, Southeast Asia, Siberia area, lots of big countries, lots of space, more damage versus, so those are going to be armored cars that you're going to be worried about sneaking in and running through, taking a lot of stuff. Light tanks, same thing. So they're the anti-light tanks, which is cool. That is cool. I mean, they're going to be dominant early game at conquering. I see that. The only thing that's going to stop them are artillery and anti-tank. Let's see whose artillery would be nice at stopping them. Communists. So the Pan-Asians will have a difficult time taking the Russian countries. But, kind of makes sense. It's a big area. They want to be able to defend it against fast-moving stuff. And throw some anti-tanks there. That'll slow those light tanks down. They're fast, though. It looks like they're not big on, looks like they're big on ground units and fast attack vehicles. Not really the heavy ground assault vehicles. Let's see, interceptors, range. Wow, yeah, the 0 is good. It's clearly superior to the other interceptors of the 4 doctrines. Attack range, that's huge. That 15% attack range, especially for the patrolling. You can have a longer patrol line, better damage against, not sure what that is, but it looks like just more damage versus air units, not a specific kind. And if I'm not mistaken, you can research the interceptors sooner. So my next time in, I'm going to find out how this days of availability, -1, -2, actually changes the research tab. So that'll be like a part 2 to the video. And naval bombers, yeah, so interceptors, naval bombers, attack range, help cover more area with all your fast moving troops. No deductions on any other aircraft, good. And you got cruisers sooner. Battleships are clearly superior. Aircraft carriers that's interesting. Both aircraft carriers are the same. So what do the Allies get that's destroyers? Alright. I have a feeling that these naval doctrines are probably going to change somehow for the Allies. Let's see. Rocket artilleries, no. More artilleries, no. Flying bombs. Okay. So I guess we're going to see a lot of flying bombs covering long distances over the Asian countries. What else? Not going to see any nuclear bombs coming out of them right away. So -2, 0, +2. So that's a 6-day difference in research. So, but when the Allies can start building nuclear weapons and have them accessible, you'll be 6 days behind. But you may have conquered those countries with your speed by then. So, yeah, everybody has these weird little cool things going on. I mean, it makes sense. Surprise. Fight where you want to fight. Quantity. Produce smart. Don't just be like, a whole bunch of, and use all your resources. You just build what you would normally build plus one. Focus on food. Let's see, optimization. I think I went over that pretty well. Respond with what you need when you need it. Defend yourself until then. Power. It looks like it's a blitzkrieg type of thing going on. You get in there quick with your infantries or your motorized infantries. And then punch through lines with your medium tanks. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to this. This actually looks kind of exciting. So we'll see how this all plays out. And I'd like to hear what you guys are doing with your games. Post a comment down below and tell me, what doctrine you got, what you're building, when you're building it. If what I said was helpful, if you did anything different, that's a little bit better or a lot better, or if one of the things that I listed was, not correct, if I understanding something wrong. So feel free to leave any kind of comment. Also, it'd be great if you could subscribe and like the video, and that'll encourage me to keep up with these videos to help inform everybody about the new updates and how to best optimize your gameplay. So enjoy the new update. Let me know what you think of it, and I will be back in a few days with another video.